Welcome to an exclusive interview with the Runner Washington. We have Lyricc Lopez from Foster High School, this year's 2021 Most Improved Male Athlete. He joins us here on the Runner Washington. Lyricc, it's a privilege to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. A lot of people don't know you since this has been just a distance predominant page for the last couple of years, but now sprints have become a priority as well.
Well, what's up? I'm Lyric. I grew up in Tacoma area, moved out to Tukwila, started going to school at Foster High School, and I picked up track in 8th grade. And ever since, I've just been loving it.
Obviously, this year has been quite an impressive year for yourself. Let's just go back to your freshman year, though, in your first season of running track. You did actually make it to the state meet in an event, the 300 hurdles, placed 11th. What did you learn about yourself in your freshman year of track and field?
My freshman year, I found out that I could go, like, if I stick to the sport, I could go way further with what I did then. And I feel like I turned a lot of heads. I think I was the only freshman running in that meet in my 2A. But I felt pretty cool. I felt like I could do more and go in higher levels with myself.
So yeah, just give it a little brief recap about that freshman year. Obviously, like I said, you qualified for state in the 300 hurdles, and you also did the 110s and long jump. And it's just like any other freshman, you're just trying stuff out.
Yeah. So freshman year, I messed up my wrist playing football, so that I had to go out for a few weeks. And then I came around, like, I think districts or sub districts, I don't remember, but I just started trying to improve in my long jump, my hurdles, and my 300-meter hurdles. I would just try to beat the person in front of me. And I got to state, and I ended up running there, and I was happy to run there. But yeah.
And of course, going into your sophomore season, the expectations were big for you in the 300 hurdles, and I'm sure you would have incorporated other sprinting events as well. But of course, COVID hit, and
Yeah.
you didn't get that opportunity to compete against the other 2A teams. So what was that season like for you as a sophomore?
So it was our second day into practice, and my coach made us run this big hill. It was horrible. He made us run so many hills. And then right after, he told us, he's like, oh, we can't like finish off the season. And we were so mad because we just put all that work in. I was waiting to go off. I was mad, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the frustrations are there. You don't know exactly what you're doing,
Hmm.
but people had the opportunity to still compete. Those virtual races on your own, where you happen to be involved in any of those, if it was part of the club.
I didn't do any virtual races though, but I just started like getting ready to go for my junior year and get ready for that. So I kind of just used that as a training year.
What did you do that was different from your freshman year to your junior year? Because obviously the numbers have changed huge. They're huge this year.
I joined FSP, New Breed of Speed, and they helped me out a lot with like getting my speed, fixing my form, and all of that. So they kind of helped me through a lot of this.
And then obviously junior track season, it's moved later on
Yeah.
into March, April season. What was your goals coming into this season? Because probably not a lot of people would have expected you to be ranked top 10 in the nation by this time in the 300 hurdles.
Yeah. So my goals were to at least try to hit 21 in the 200, hit 10 seconds in like a high 10 in the 100, and at least a 36 in the 300-meter hurdles. And I executed 2 of those. I'm just waiting on the 200 now. So I mean, I just went up there, looked at the top ranked in the nation, and just went for it and just ran it all out. So
Because you look at the 100-meter races and the 200-meter races, because those races you didn't race a lot your freshman year.
yeah.
And of course, if you have hurdles in front of you, you expect to be faster in races that don't have hurdles in front of
Yeah.
you. So what was your mental approach to those kind of races when the hurdles weren't in front?
When they weren't or when they were?
When they weren't in front, when you're just running the 100, 200, and open 4.
It felt really different because I've always really ran the hurdles, and then when you take it out, I feel like it feels faster without being hurdles in the way. But yeah.
So run the 100, you break 11 for the first time in your career. And to go back to your freshman year, you ran 12.86, and your new personal best is 10.98. And for
Yeah.
those that are not speed experts like myself, that seems like a lot to take off of 2 seconds. So talk me through that race and that day and what that feeling was like when you crossed the finish line.
everything was good on that day. I don't like running in super hot weather, so it was like a perfect like 75. I had a small tailwind, but I didn't really like take that into account to like, oh, I'm gonna run super fast. But it kept switching from tailwind to headwind, and then I just went out there and executed my race like I've been talking to my coaches about. And I just passed the finish line, and I was like, I didn't know if I ran the right time. I was kind of disappointed, but I looked at my times after, and I was happy what I got. So yeah.
And of course, breaking the 11-second barrier is a big deal because not very many athletes in Washington have done that this season. But you're joining the company of like Anthony Smith, Keenan
Yeah.
Andrews. I mean, some of the top athletes in the state that you're putting your name in for that, especially from where you were at your freshman year. But then a
Yeah.
few minutes later, or I guess maybe an hour later, you come back to run the 300 hurdles and you run 36.98, which is two of you, I believe, in that race.
Yeah.
And you just annihilate the guy that's right behind you in a race like that. How do you mentally prepare yourself knowing that who knows, like if this guy is going to be as fast as me, but again, it's a two-man race for all that everyone knows.
So when I was going into that race, I knew I kind of had competition, but not like competition. My goal was to beat the guy to the first hurdle, and then after that, just try to hit my lead leg on the right hurdles. And I messed up on two hurdles, but I just still try to push through it and try to make it up on the back stretch coming through the curve. And at the curve, I had my coach there, and he was screaming, yelling at me. And whenever that happened, I just kick into like a different type of speed, and I just go. I just kept that same speed going through.
So for people like me, like I said with sprints, as a hurdle person, I don't know a whole ton about it. What is the preparation like for that? When you is it what 8 hurdles you have to clear in the 300 hurdles?
Yeah.
So what is that race like when you're clearing the first one? It's like, okay, cool, I got over the first one. Now it's just like, all right, now I have 7 more of these to do.
I just kind of first hurdle, it's like nothing, and then I really hits me like the lactic acid starts hitting me at like the fifth hurdle, and I feel dead, but I know I have to push through it. But I've been training a lot about how to like keep my lactic acid and just keep my form. So
So when you broke the 30-second barrier, top 10 time in the state is no joke. And greatness recognizes greatness when you're in that top 10. When you saw your name on athletic.net, what was that feeling like?
I got a bunch of calls from all my coaches, a lot of family. I showed a lot to my family, and they were super excited. And yeah, I was just really happy, and I want to go celebrate with some friends because it's a pretty big accomplishment. I mean, but yeah.
I mean, we've seen some great hurdlers come through the state of Washington, and you're not far off from the actual state meet record. I believe it's like 36.4, and you can correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. It's somewhere around that. But when those milliseconds are tough, they're tough to get down, especially when in a sprinting event. Whereas in distance, it's so much easier to cut down on seconds because that's just the nature of it, how it works. So when you do get down to a time where it's like, okay, I'm at peak level right now, even if you do run a slower time, is there a little self-doubt in yourself, just like, man, I just ran this fast time, but now I can't get back to it now?
Not really. I kind of, if I don't run a time that I would like, I would at least pick out the positives in my race and go off of that. And I would kind of brush off to the side that I didn't do as well because I don't like having like negative feelings because it brings me down. So I kind of just look for the positives.
Obviously, this next coming week is your last race of the season. It's the championship race. What are we running in this meet, and what are going to be the goals? Obviously, to win, but I'm sure you have your own individual goals as well.
I I want to try to break a 49 in the 400. So I'm gonna run the 400 and maybe the 100. I don't know yet. But
Of
yeah,
course, those are some of the two of the challenging events when you want to run faster times. So like once you get under that 50-second in the 400, it's no easy task, and once you get under 11-second, it's not easy as well in the
yeah,
100. Just to finish this off, your biggest takeaway from this season in such a weird year, because obviously going into the 2A's next season for yourself as a senior, you're going to be one of the top 300 hurdlers in the state, and of course, one of the top sprinters in the state for 2A.
yeah. I mean, I just gotta take like I can't just waste my time just sitting there. I gotta just get up because other people are working too. I gotta catch up with people sometimes. Because sometimes I'll take time off and I'm like, man, I shouldn't be doing this. But I just gotta grind through it and get better and get faster so I can go compete and execute what I need to execute.
Well, Lyric, like I said, you've earned that most improved award this season. I mean, from running from a 12.86 to a 10.98 in the 100, and then 41 to 36 in the hurdles. You've earned it, man. You've done a phenomenal job this season. I appreciate your time coming on here. Best of luck next week at your championship race.
Yes,
And
sir.
and I will tell you this up front: hurdle coverage. There'll be more of it next season when spring rolls around. So don't worry
Yes,
about it. I know people have been asking about hurdle coverage, but it'll be coming around pretty soon enough the next season. So appreciate your time, man.
yes, sir. Peace out.